Hello guys, welcome to a new video. In this video we're gonna talk about one really good Canon camera. This camera is such a great camera because the kind of photography it can do and the kind of videography it can do and the features that this camera possesses, some of the even more expensive latest camera do not have it guys. I'm talking about Canon 200D. This camera is also known as Canon SL2 in North America guys. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to the channel before we start the video guys. So this camera was launched in 2017, so it's almost 5-year old, but the sensor on this camera is exactly the same one that you find on Canon M50 and Canon 90D and many more expensive Canon camera. It is a 24 megapixel sensor. This camera can shoot 5 frames per second in continuous mode. The ISO range on this camera goes from 100 to 51,000. So it's really very good when it comes to low light performance guys. The weight of the camera is very less. It's around 450 grams. Very lightweight camera to carry guys. The camera has 9 autofocus points. In the photography it works fine. Not the best camera for tracking the subject, but you can do like good job with it. Like if you want to do portrait photography, landscape photography, for that this is more than good enough guys. The dynamic range on the camera is really good. It's more than 13, which is really nice because some of the more expensive Canon camera, for example Canon EOS RP, it has a lower dynamic range compared to this camera guys. And when we talk about the video aspects on this camera, it is a monster when it comes to video. The camera possesses a fully articulating 3-inch touch screen guys, and it has the famous Canon dual pixel autofocus in it. This is the cheapest Canon camera having dual pixel autofocus inside it, so that makes this camera such a great camera for vlogging because you can see yourself when you are vlogging. You want to make YouTube video, you can put this camera on tripod and make a really good video. It is gonna keep your face on track and the video gonna be tack sharp guys. The video that we shoot on this camera is full HD 60 frame per second. So 60 frame per second gives you a sharper video compared to 30 frame per second guys. And in the video the autofocus works flawless. If you are using STM lenses with this camera, then there would be no focus breathing and there would be no focus hunting and no focusing noise. Then this would become a very good camera for making cinematic videos or YouTubing videos because of the smooth focus transition from one subject to another, from the foreground to the background. It's amazing guys, trust me. And another good thing about this camera is that you can connect an external microphone to the camera. It has a microphone input jack on the side, so that will allow you to get really very nice professional audio. If you are using a expensive mic, you can get very good video. So that makes this camera a no-brainer for making really nice videos guys. All the features that you have on this camera are so ideal if you are someone just starting out and you want to make really good videos. So this is the simplest and the best camera for you to use guys. Besides this camera also has many other features, like it has time-lapse feature built into the camera. You can make time-lapse video using this camera. It has exposure bracketing feature also in the camera. You can also use this camera as a webcam if you want to do live streaming on YouTube or your Zoom call. It also has Wi-Fi as well, so using the Canon app you can control the camera from your mobile phone. You can download the photos also wirelessly. All these features in such a cheap price because you can get this camera very cheaply nowadays for around $300 along with the kit lens, which is such a good bargain price for this camera. Because if you compare this camera with Canon M50, which is a mirrorless camera, you're gonna get pretty much the identical results with this camera that you can get with that one, but at a much cheaper price. That camera gonna cost you almost twice as this camera and the results gonna be exactly identical guys. Now I'm gonna put onto the screen the photos that I've taken with this camera. So while I'm talking, you can have a look at the photos. And guys, the photos that I've taken have been taken with this 50mm f1.8 STM lens, and most of them were shot at f2.8 aperture, and you can already see that the photos look really very nice and sharp. The colors are very nice. Even the dynamic range in the photos looks really good, and I haven't edited the photos at all of them were shot in JPEG. If you shoot the photo in RAW, then you can even pull up the highlights and shadows in the post and make the photos even more nicer, guys. So this is a very good camera even for photography, guys. I would give it like full marks when it comes to photography. I did not find any problem whatsoever while shooting with this camera. I really enjoyed it. The only thing is that the camera has slightly smaller buttons. If it had slightly bigger buttons, then it would be more easier to change the settings. But once you use this camera day in and day out, then your hands would get used to this camera and you would love it simply. Now I'm gonna put onto the screen the video that I've taken with this camera. In the video I have tested the autofocus and you can see the video quality. Everything is flawless. It's awesome, guys. Hello guys, right now the audio that you are listening is directly from the built-in mic on Canon 200D camera, and I'm using the 50mm f1.8 STM lens, guys. You can see the quality of the video. It looks really nice, and the autofocus on this camera is very snappy because it has dual pixel autofocus of Canon, guys. Let's see what kind of background blur you can get with this lens, guys. So I'm going to try to focus on this tree, and I am having a f2.8 aperture right now. So if I use 1.8 aperture, I can get even more background blur, and you can see how smoothly it transitions from the background to the foreground. Now it's gonna focus on the background, and the autofocus transition is very smooth. There is no focus hunting and focusing noise. So it is a very good lens for making videos, and this camera is also really awesome for making videos. For videos I would give it like 10 out of 10 marks. It can shoot full HD 60 frame per second, which is a really good. You can do a lot of good vlogging work or YouTubing work with this camera, guys. Now I'm gonna put onto the screen a close-up view of how the camera actually looks like. So guys, this is how the camera looks from the back. So it has all these buttons using which you can adjust your different settings, and screen is a flip out one which you can turn in any direction whatsoever, and it is a touch screen, so it is really easy to change your settings on this just by touching, guys. And here is the this button using which you can turn on the live view on and off, and this button is also used to start and stop the video recording as well. So from the top it looks like this. So it has this mode dial similar to like the one that you find in all the Canon camera, and then using this dial you can adjust your shutter speed, aperture and different settings. And then this knob is the one which is used for turning the camera on and off, and also for switching between photography mode and the video mode. So this is a bit small. If you compare this with the Canon 77D or 800D, those are having a bigger one, but this is having a smaller one. Even the buttons on the back are slightly smaller on this camera, but you will get used to it. It's not a big deal, guys. And from the side you can see over here you can connect it via mini HDMI to a computer or to a TV, and you have the USB as well over here, USB port. And on the other side we have the microphone input port, which is really nice feature in this camera because you can get really good audio if you are connecting a good microphone to this camera. And the SD card goes inside the battery compartment. So that is one bad thing about this camera. So you have to put the SD card over here. So if your camera is already on a tripod, so you have to take out the camera, otherwise you cannot pull the SD card out. So that means like extra couple of minutes when you have to put in the card or take out the card. On 800D and 77D, the SD card slot is actually over here, so it is easy to take out and take in the SD card. So yeah, that is one drawback with this camera, but other than that, this is a great camera, guys. Now guys, my final thoughts. should you get this camera in 2022? Well guys, you should definitely consider getting this camera in 2022 if you are someone who wants to do videos on YouTube. If you are a vlogger, this is a really good camera on budget. If you compare this camera with Canon 80D, it is gonna give you much better results than 80D. 80D is also having dual pixel autofocus. It is also having this flip out screen, but some of the more advantage that you can get with this camera is that this camera is much lightweight. So if you are vlogging, you will get less tired because it is lighter in terms of weight, so you will find it easier to hold it, and the low light performance on this camera is much better than the 80D. If you are looking for a camera only for making videos, this would be the best entry point for you, because this is the cheapest camera with dual pixel autofocus that Canon have guys. And you can also use the full HD video that you take with this camera using a software. You can convert them to 4K and then put up on the YouTube, and the quality gonna look really very nice guys. Most of the videos that I put, even the video right now that I'm shooting, is on Canon 800D, which is having exactly identical sensor that you find on this camera guys. Canon 800D, 77D and this one are having exactly the same sensor, so you're gonna get exactly the same image quality and the video quality guys. And what I usually do is I, using a software, convert that to 4K. So the video right now that you are watching is in 4K, but it was shot in full HD, and you can already see the quality looks pretty nice and the video is very sharp guys. Most of the videos on my channel have been shot with this camera, and this has become my most favorite camera guys. Even I was using a mirrorless camera before, but since I started using this camera, this is now my most favorite camera. So easy to use guys, so lightweight, and it's a pleasure to use this camera guys. It has all the features that I personally need guys. You don't need to buy the more expensive mirrorless camera that is gonna cost you like $1,000 if you can get your job done with this $300 camera guys. So if you are a beginner, this is one camera I would highly recommend you. Even if you buy this camera today, you can get great results with this even 5 years from now guys. Alright guys, I hope you like my video. If you like my video, please like and share it, and if you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to press the notification icon guys. I will see you in the next video guys.